All right, here we go. Let's try this again. It was too funky getting used to the new system. So real quick, I wanted to go live here in a conversation that we were having in one of my hybrid coaching programs today was about why most agents will never need to do more than 36 transactions in a year. Now let's think about this. It's all about consistency, right? Now inevitably agents, what they do is they have a business that goes like this. They get really, really busy and then they slow down. How many of you guys, and mention here, how many of you guys have ever rode that roller coaster of what the real estate business is? I'm sure you have, right? So the key is consistency. And so that's going to be what we call as the C word. And so the goal is to get consistency where you end up having, let's say, 3 transactions a month. And this is where it gets tricky. See, most agents don't know when enough is enough and when they have enough money coming in. So, the old saying is, well, you got to get why the getting's good, right? Now, here's what happens. When you start to know your numbers, you know when enough is enough. And if you have closings coming in the next 30 days, you have 3 coming in. The next 60 days, you have 6 coming in. And then in the next 90 days, you have a total of 9 deals pending. You don't need any more. So now you get to raise your standards. Now, write that word down. How many of you guys have standards on whether or not you take the business? Meaning, are you interviewing your clients just as much as they're interviewing you to make sure that you're a fit? Jason, I disagree. You don't make hay while the sun is shining, because here's why. So many agents get super, super busy, and then all of a sudden they have this great month where, they're just killing it. And then the next month they look up and they've got 0 pipeline. Now let's go back to the title of this Facebook Live, and here's what I want you to think about. And do some simple math, and I've got a spreadsheet, and I'll load it in here when we're done with the Facebook Live. Yet do this math. If you do 36 transactions a year, and what you do is each and every year after that, you increase your average sales price by 10%. So what you're doing is you're upgrading your average sale price, and do the math on what that looks like 5, 10, 15, 20 years out. And what you'll find is it's a pretty significant increase. After 20 years on the spreadsheet, you'll think, wow, am I ever going to need to make more money than what's on here? Now, here's the key and what I would like you to think about. Most of us, as we make more money, what do? We spend more money, right? Meaning, if we go from making $3,000 a month and then we're making $5,000 a month, usually our expenses follow that. So one thing that my wife and I have done now, fortunately, the last couple of years, I've done pretty well. Yet we made this jump from making a very good income to me going out on my own. Now, what happened was in that transition, we kept what we paid ourselves the same. So yeah, did we have to dive into savings at some of those times? Yeah. Yet when the months were more, we still took out the same amount. So here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. Figure out what your ideal monthly income is. And let's just make numbers easy. Let's say your ideal monthly income is 10 grand. All right, so you get to 10 grand and you have a surplus and you let that sit there. You don't just draw more income. You don't go get more expenses. And we'll throw a little bit of Dave Ramsey, a little bit of Robert Kiyosaki into this. And so you're drawing out your regular income, right? Let's say that's $10,000 and you have a month where it's $15,000 and then $20,000. Now you have the surplus. And once a quarter, you're going to meet with your accountant. You're going to do some tax advising. You're going to say, okay, well, maybe we're going to pay down this debt. So now what happens is you have the surplus, and now your ideal monthly budget's 10 grand. Yet let's say that it's only costing you 3 grand a month to now live. How many of you could have a pretty freaking awesome life having an additional $7,000 a month at your disposable income? See, the biggest problem that I see with agents isn't the fact that they need to make more money. I think they need to get real with what they're spending. And if you get set on an income and you get set on that income, and as your income increases, you use that money to invest maybe in another business. Maybe another business that is much more likely to be saleable, like rental properties, or I like Little Caesars, so maybe you buy a Little Caesars franchise. Because once you get a Little Caesars franchise up, that's something that's easily saleable. Here's where I'm gonna argue a little bit. I believe that it's going to be darn tough to sell a real estate business. And what I mean by that is it's going to be darn tough to sell your real estate team. So what if you got to 36 transactions a year and you got that down to like a part-time, how long it's going to take you? I believe that if you get your system down, you have an assistant that's awesome like Ann is for me. I believe that you can do 36 to 48 transactions a year working 20 hours a week. Now, if you were working 20 hours a week and you were doing 36 transactions and you were covering your nut to crack, you had surplus money coming in, that would allow you to go do other businesses, maybe invest in real estate, maybe just enjoy your kids like I'm doing. Right now in 2017, I'm going to work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the business. And that's 8:15 till 5. That's going to be 27 hours. So I'm working in 2017, 27 hours in the business. Now that gives me Thursday and Friday to work on the business or choose to work in the business some of those weeks. And it gives me huge flexibility. Now I've been super purposeful on figuring out my schedule. Now, is this a plan that came into action just overnight? No, I've been on this path for quite some time. Here's my challenge to you. I'm going to ask that if you did 36 transactions every single year, you and just another assistant. And if you have too much business, you can refer it off to other agents that maybe aren't even necessarily on your team, yet you get a nice referral fee. You're helping other agents out, yet you don't have to take the responsibility of bringing them on your team. So I want you to do a math right now. If you could do 36 transactions every single year for the next, let's say you're going to work 20 years, and you increase your average sale price by just 10% every single year, what does that income look like? I believe that most of the incomes for you is more income than what you need. Now I'm going to ask you to work less. See, I see so many agents out there like, it's time to grind. It's time to grind. Forget grinding. Grinding is overrated. Stop. There's no badge of honor for grinding. Get to where you're flowing. I'm flowing right now. Meaning I'm not working 24/7. Yeah, are there times like this where I got done at 4 o'clock, I went inside, helped with dinner, did some dishes, and I said, Henley, I'm going to go out and do a Facebook Live. Yeah. Yet here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop grinding. I want you to stop thinking that in order for you to be legit, you got to have this huge team and, hey, I do $1 million in GCI. Yeah, well, your freaking net is $120,000. Great job. Yeah, here, see, and so that's the thing that frustrates me. I could care less what your gross is. Let's talk about the net. It's all about the net, not the gross. Remember that song? I think I should do a parody of it. Who cares about your gross? How much money are you keeping? If you look at the most profitable model, it's going to be you and an assistant. And that's my humble opinion. Obviously, you can look at anybody's P&L and it's going to be a little bit different. Yet if you have a rock star admin, they're going to be able to do 80 to 90% of the work that you're doing as an agent anyways. And you just stay in your job description. You go meet people, you go kiss babies, you take care of your clients at a super high level. And I guarantee you, when you're taking care of 36 clients at a super high level, guess what? They're going to refer you business. And at some point, all you're going to have to do is be you. I mean, I'm not lead generating for business anymore. In January, I'm going to be at capacity with my coaching company, meaning my 27 hours that I'm working in the business, by January 5th, I will be at capacity. Why? Because I take care of my clients. And when I take care of my clients, they take care of me. So stop grinding. Take care of the people that are in front of you. And guess what? In 12 months, my coaching business is now at capacity. So at 27 hours a week, I'm working in the business, making more money than what my family and I, don't get me wrong, I like making a lot of money, yet now I get to take the other hours that I'm going to work on the business. I'm flying down to Florida to meet with Kevin Harrington, one of the Shark Tanks, on January 20 or on December 23rd. We're going to be putting a project together. I got another project going with another big company, and that's because I'm not working all the time in the freaking business. So don't get so freaking busy that's all you're doing is working. The grind is overrated. Kind of pumped up right now. So Get clarity around what your monthly budget is. Figure out how to get there, how to maximize your efficiency to get there. Take care of your clients. Put systems in place. You don't need to hire a bunch of people. Systems can take care of most everything that you're doing. Why do you think I'm teaching my son right now standard operating procedures? Because systems can take care of efficiencies, and you just need to be more efficient and spend less money. Pay more stuff off. Get out of debt. Pay your mortgage off. My affirmation is this: I enjoy having the ability to pay off my mortgage in my 40th year of life. Am I going to hit that? Not sure. Getting pretty darn close. Yet here's the thing. What if it takes me to 41 or 42? Is that okay? Yeah. All right, let's look at some of these comments. Will you continue to lead gen some in case you lose any clients? Here's the thing. If you have more money coming in than what you need, are you going to have to continue to lead generate? Because if you have a positive, let's just use fictitious numbers. Maybe they're not too fictitious. Yet if I have $50,000 a month coming in, it only costs me $10,000 a month to hit my nut to crack. If I lose one or two clients and I go down to $47,000 or $48,000 a month, is that big of a deal? No. So here's what I'm going to say is at some point you shouldn't have to prospect anymore because you're knocking it out of the park for your clients. And if you're knocking it out of the park for your clients, what your clients are going to do is say, hey, you are crazy if you don't work with Hank. Hank will take care of you. In fact, he told us we were going to sell our house in 7 days, and we did everything that he said to do, and it sold in 7 days. What if your average listing only took 7 days to sell? Well, how would we do that? Raise your standards. Don't take any listings unless they're priced right, they're conditioned right, and I don't care. Everything else you're doing is smoke and mirrors. You price it right, and it's in the right condition. You put a sign in front of the yard, you put it properly on the MLS, and here's what I mean by putting it properly on the MLS. Take pictures that show the property properly. Meaning don't put lipstick on a pig. If it's a dump, show it like a dump. Oh man, I am fired up. See, sometimes we make business way too hard. Now, is it appropriate for some people to build teams? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yet here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this right now. 99 out of 100 agents would be so much better if they would just concentrate on getting to 36 deals a year, getting your systems in place so that you can give a predictable result, and stop trying to hire all these people to get out of the work. Guess what? You're going to have to work. And I get wanting to work yourself out of this business. You know what? Do you know how many agents I've seen work to a level where they're no longer working in the business? Very few. Do you know how many agents I've seen start to go broke because they go and they try to build this team and they do a terrible freaking job, and the next thing you know, everybody's getting paid except for that agent? A lot. In fact, I wonder how many people are watching this Facebook Live that thought it was a good idea to go build a team, and next thing you know, they're not making any money. Meaning they might be grossing, yet they're not netting. And as I said earlier, who gives a rat's ass about gross? It's all about the net. It's all about taking care of your clients, and it's all about having a freaking life. In this whole grind thing of working 80 hours a week, working every single night, working on weekends, work, stop it! All right, that's all I got. Hopefully you guys had fun. I had fun.